Hello there, YouTube. People of the Purple Butterfly back again. I discussed casting on Pretty in Pink, worsted weight, yarn by Redheart, 14 stitches of that with a size 7 needle, and combining it with puffball pink yarn for a whole different effect, and casting on 14 stitches, knitting 2 in between the puffs instead of a single stitch like we did with the size 9 needle. And I just came back to show you what you get when you do that. Look at this. That's the front. See if you get close, with 2 stitches in between the puffs. And this is the back. Makes for a much denser fabric. And the front, if you look real closely, you can see what happened to the Pretty in Pink. It curled in to make a little teeny, very neat border. And the only thing I did was just knit those 2 rows and continue on with the puffball. It curled that way. When I block it, I'm assuming it's going to stay that way. I'm not going to sew it down or anything. It'll just lay flat that way and make its own border. Now, what you're going to do, in case I didn't mention it, oh, and it is curling. So you're going to have to uncurl that when you're done, you know, by blocking it or whatever. Or because of the way it's coming out, I might just make a cowl out of it. But what you're going to do, because you're going to basically knit to your literally out of yarn, and then you're going to reattach the Pretty in Pink, which is a worsted weight acrylic, and just knit 2 rows and bind off. That will give you the same effect as this part on the end. See that? That's actually the end stitch with the 2 rows of the Pretty in Pink. It just folds itself in like that automatically. So when you get to the end, depending on how long it is or your personal preference or whatever, you can literally just sew the 2 rows of Pretty in Pink on both ends together and have a circular cowl, you know, that looks kind of like this. Or you could just bind it off and leave it as a scarf. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. You know, the puffs line up on the back, and as you've seen in the previous video, you just give it a pull to make those line up all nice and neat. The interesting thing I found working with 2 stitches instead of 1 is instead of having to hold the puff out the way of the working yarn, you end up holding the puff of the row below out the way. Let's see if I can get this where you can see it. So you're putting 2 stitches on the cord with the size 7 needle. Those 2 stitches actually fit, and the puff carries across. And it's that easy to work with. Now, say first you make a mistake and have to unravel. Since you're only knitting the cord, that would be, hold on, that would be this part of the yarn instead of this part of the yarn. If you have to unravel, this cord will come boom, 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 right loose. So you don't have to worry about an oopsie. When you pick up a stitch or have to go catch a stitch if you miss a stitch, like with a crochet hook, you're only worried about the cord and not the puff itself. So that will make it rather easy to even fix a mistake. And this, even though it looks intimidating and complicated, this is like the easiest novelty yarn I've ever worked with in my life. Now, that's another thing. Some of the puffs like to poke out in the front. It makes for that interesting effect. You can either leave it that way. This is the front, by the way. Or you could poke them back out. But in any event, you give it a pull every now and then to make those puffs line up on the back. This has been People of 7. Y'all stay blessed and have a wonderful day. Don't forget to visit my blog where there's more pictures at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. Remember, I'm People of 7 on Twitter and YouTube, and I'm People elsewhere on the Internet. Have a great day and stay blessed. Keep right on knitting. Bye now.